Summer camp is a magic place where kids discover who they are because they have the freedom to explore on their own. Y Camp at Horse Thief Reservoir is a sleepaway camp in the heart of Idaho's wilderness. Each summer, campers make friends, build new skills, and learn to love the outdoors through activities like canoeing, archery, ziplining, rock climbing, campfires, and more. Registration for Y Camp at Horse Thief Reservoir is open. Financial assistance is available. Learn more at ycampidaho.org.
Hey, it's Storyworthy. Today on the show, comedian Emily James talks about seeing her gardener in a fight on her front yard.
All of a sudden, I hear some hollering out from the front yard, and I was like, okay, well, I don't know what that is, but I'm just going to go back to the rainbows. And it continued, and I didn't know what he was saying, but I was like, okay, well, maybe I should go see what's going on out there, because it sounded like it was directed towards my house. So I went out, and there he was on the ground, bloody face, right next to his lawnmower that was still going, right next to the blades of the lawnmower. And there was a guy behind him holding him in a headlock. And they were both yelling, help.
Today on the show, comedian Emily James talks about seeing her gardener in a fight in her front yard. Stay close.
Hey, it's Emily James, and you're listening to Storyworthy.
Welcome to Storyworthy. My name is Christine Blackburn, and I'm coming to you from Los Angeles, California. Whether you're a longtime fan of the show or a brand new listener, welcome to Storyworthy. I hope you guys enjoyed the story last week by comedian and actress Sierra Cato. Sierra tells a story about being in a nude scene. She was in a nude scene, like an orgy scene, with, and I thought she was going to say like 10 other people or 12 other people. It was with 35 people. So it's a really good episode. You guys have to listen to it. It's from The Sex Life of College Girls. That's the name of the show. The Sex Life of College Girls with Mindy Kaling. That's the show where she did the nude scene, and really a funny story. So go back and listen to that, you guys. But not today. Today I'm here with another very talented person, and their name is Emily James. She's a comedian and an actress and the mom of two little boys. Your boys are little, aren't they, Emily?
They're getting bigger. James is 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens. And Louis is 7.
7 and 10.
Yeah.
Those are such sweet ages, Emily.
I know.
Because they still love you. They still want to be with you.
They don't
right?
love me anymore, but that's okay.
Yes, they do.
Well, they're hiding it. They're really good at hiding it.
Isn't that funny?
But they're really like, yes, they are very sweet kids. Like they're really good, well-behaved, funny, you know, and they're edgy too. They like to swear a lot and, you know.
Does the 7-year-old take after the 10-year-old? Like, do they follow them around and stuff?
Yeah, he does. And the 7-year-old is more like me, where I wear my emotions on my sleeve. And the 10-year-old is like my husband, who's very like serious and like reserved. And so the little one tries to pretend like the big one, but I know inside he's just this, like, he just wants to, you know, love on me all the time. And you know, like,
well, 7 is little. 7 is a baby.
I know. He's
7-year-olds wet the bed. I mean, that's a little baby. Really?
Thank God he doesn't wet the bed. Oh, my goodness.
Well, you are a great mom, and I'll tell you, it does go fast. My kid is 17, and yeah, it just moves very quickly. My father always said that. He said, it goes, you know, people say the days are long, but the years are short. And my dad used to say, you think it goes fast when they're a baby, but when they get to about 13, it just takes off. Like they're just gone. And I have found that. My kid at about 14, it all changed. And I remember hearing that from other people and thinking like, well, how much can change? You know, what are you talking about? But what happens is turns out, Emily, they're their own people.
Whoa. What?
It turns out if you do the right thing, they will be little assholes. That's the job you're supposed to do.
Totally. Oh my
You want to
God.
kick them out. By the time they're 17, 18, you're ready for them to move on. That's the process, as I understand it.
Wow. You have a 17-year-old, and is she a senior? Is she going to college?
They're junior.
Junior.
Yeah,
Okay.
junior.
So take a,
So one more full year of like kind of under my thumb, as it were, and then it's over. So like I've decided I'm going to take them to New York again in the fall because I can. That's why. Because then next year I can't. So I better get a couple more things in before it's all over. All right. And today you bring forth the topic, I saw a fight in my yard, which is like a damn funny title. And I mean, it says everything. I can't wait to hear this story. I saw a fight in my yard because it is true. Like anytime there's a fight, no matter where you are, like if you're in public, it's a 7-Eleven, it's a fast food parking lot, or you're even driving by. It's like such a horrible thing to see a fight, yet somehow we're drawn to it. Why are we drawn to that, Emily?
I mean, we like the dark stuff too. It's that it totally like entertains that shadow side of us. And it's like we want to, but yeah, like it's like rubbernecking when there's an accident, you know, you have to slow down and you have to look. And why? Man, because they're weird.
Maybe because it's like in the moment, like it's happening right now.
Yeah. Maybe it, like, I'm trying to think of, there's like endorphins that you know what I mean? Like, it's like,
it might hit you on like a hormonal level.
Like it could hit you on maybe it's like a cortisol hit or but it's dark. Like it's not.
It is dark. I know. I don't like fighting. I really don't. I've never been in a fight. Have you ever been in a fight, Emily?
I have. I have been, I was at my locker. It was my senior year in high school. I had 2 weeks left of school and I was at my locker, and this kind of bully, or that's how I experienced her, called me a bitch, and I turned around and I called her a bitch back, and she went for me. She punched me. And so and I was like, wow. I don't know how to fight, I didn't know how to fight. So I tried to kick her, and then there was some hair pulling, and I didn't know what I was doing. And I knew that I, lost the fight because I was sent to the nurse and she was sent to the principal.
Oh my gosh. That is so funny. And that was the last day of senior year.
I had 2 weeks left. So I got suspended, I was a good kid according to, when I was in school, I had got good grades and that. And they were a little shocked to learn that I was voted party animal in my graduating class, my teachers. But my teachers were like, Emily, what? And it was very traumatizing. I wrote a paper on it. It was very embarrassing. And
wait, did she really throw the first punch?
Yeah, she did.
Well, then what could you do?
Exactly. I don't know. My instinct was,
why would you get suspended?
My instinct was kick. And I don't know. The next thing I knew, we were on the floor. It was so, and then there was another time.
Especially when you don't see it coming like that.
Yeah. And there was another time. So this was after no, I don't remember if it was before or after. I think it was after. It was the summer maybe. And there was this gal who was 3 years older than me. And she bullied me a lot. She was because I was hanging out with all the dudes that were seniors when I was a sophomore kind of thing. And we stayed friends and whatever. And she didn't like me. And she finally, like, I mean, there were times when like I'd be at like 7-Eleven because, we'd hang out at 7-Eleven when we didn't have any place to go.
Yeah, right. Before coffee shops. That's what we did. You're right.
Before coffee shops, exactly. Like coffee shops were just starting. Like when it was like, but it was at like Village Inn, which is like the Denny's, the IHOP, the whatever of Colorado. She would threaten me. And like, luckily I had like friends that would stick up for me. And I was like scared all the time. And then there was one night and I had too much to drink and she talked shit. She was calling me a slut or whatever. And I stood up for myself. I was at the bottom of this hill and the party was at the top of this hill. And I stood up for myself and I was like yelling. And then she came out and she flew down the hill.
Oh no.
And, like landed like on top of me. And I was like, and she was mad, like aggro. And I was making jokes. And I was just like, oh, my contact just popped out. And and she was huffing and puffing. And I have to tell you, the next day, she called me up.
Wow.
And she was like, I'm sorry. Like, I got to hand it to you. Like, yeah, and she was embarrassed and she felt bad and she said she was sorry. And I was like, okay, like.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's great. Boy, much more mature. Yeah, that's incredible, actually. Yeah. Good. Then you could just put that behind you.
Yeah. It was done. And like, I mean, it's still like, it's not like we became friends or anything after that, but it's a story, it's a story about
it happened.
Like I stood up for myself. I took it and I took it and I took it. And then I stood up for myself and I, like looking back, you think about like choices that you made and, like how you just didn't, like, I just didn't know, like I was just a kid. And,
of course,
like, yeah, it could get really deep, but like,
So you did grow up in Colorado, right?
Did, yeah.
And where in Colorado?
I grew up in Aurora and I went to school in Boulder.
Yeah. So Aurora is a suburb of Denver. And then you go to University of Colorado. Oh, no, you go to CSU.
It's the University of Colorado. Yeah.
Oh, no, the first one. CSU's in Fort Collins.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
you're in Boulder, which is like one of the hippest and happeningest places for colleges. And did you love it there?
I did. I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me the top 3 things about going to school in Boulder.
Oh, the town is just super freaking cool. Like you're saying, like just, it's a great college town, but it's also surrounded by nature, the foothills. And the people I met that I'm still like the friends I made there are forever. And,
nice.
I went to film school and, my teachers, like, I'm still friends with. Like,
wow.
Yeah, just like super
That's
cool.
incredible.
Yeah, Ernesto, he was my teacher. I had a little crush on him.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, I did see in your bio, you've done a couple of award-winning short films, like the one Boy Mom. I watched that. Boy Mom looks like a true story, right? It's you struggling with 2 little kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's totally you.
Yep.
And then you won an award for the best comedic short in the Atlanta Women's Comedy Film Festival and the best actress in the Los Angeles Women's Film Festival. So that's all very exciting to get those awards.
Oh, yeah. Making Boy Mom was such a healing thing after taking time off to just be like full-time mom.
Well, you were full-time mom in COVID.
Yeah. Yes, I was.
There's no more full-time mom than when COVID was going on.
Yes. So it's like my kids were starting to be school age. Like my oldest was in first grade and my youngest was going to go to preschool. And then we were just like, well, forget that. You're just going to fuck around, like you're not doing Zoom preschool, like you're going to goof off and, so we did a lot.
Those are special years.
Yeah.
So we're so lucky to have those.
They have really fond memories of COVID. And I'm like, wow, I'm so glad because, we would party all day with the kids, and just like I was doing crafts and everything. And then they would go to bed and we would freak out. Like we would watch the news and we would freak out.
Wow.
And, it was like a lot of balancing of like, because we were just, in the beginning, I think everybody was really freaked out. We continued to be freaked out for like, I think it was like a year.
Well, the thing is you're the parent of these little kids and you are the one responsible. So now somehow you got to convey what's going on to these babies. Try not to scare them to death, and you're hoarding toilet paper. I mean, it was a weird time.
It was so weird.
I know. We lived through a pandemic. That's nice.
Like wipe down the groceries, like, like just all the crazy and just the thought of like, what if one of us gets it? And then, or what if kids get, it was just terrifying. Terrifying.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Well, I'm anxious to hear about the fight that you saw in your yard. I can't wait to hear this story. But before we do, I wanted to remind everybody that My Life in 3 Songs is going strong. Head over to mylifein3songs.com. That's the website for the podcast. The podcast, you guys, is exclusively on Spotify because we listen to the music. I talk to comedians about the 3 songs in their life that have impacted them. Not their favorite songs, but songs that really tell you a little bit about the comedian and where they're from. So please check it out on Spotify, My Life in 3 Songs. mylifein3songs.com. And remember, you guys, Story Smash is back and live at the Lyric Hyperion Saturday, June 15th. Head over to storysmashshow.com and tickets are on sale. All right, you guys. Emily James is here right now. Like we said, she studied it. Well, maybe we didn't say this. And like we said, she did study film, but she's also studied improv and sketch at the Second City. And she makes films and she's a comedian. You can see her at the Comedy Store here in Los Angeles. And you can find her over there on Insta at Created by Emily James. Created by Emily James. All right, you guys, wherever you are, put your hands together for the very talented Emily James. Yay.
Yay. Thank you so much, Christine. I'm so happy to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
Good.
So my story begins with it's a mom moment that it started out with. My child, my youngest boy, was homesick one day, and it was like during the time that like kids were getting like scarlet fever and foot and mouth. And like, it just was like sick kids everywhere, right? All the time. So I kept him home and we had just moved into a new house after living in an apartment where his nursery was the pantry. So we really moved on up. And when we now have had a yard and someone, like people are suggesting like, oh, you need to get a gardener. And I'm like, whoa, like I grew up in Colorado, like we would just mow the lawn, but okay, I'm a freaking white woman in LA. I'll get a gardener. Okay. That's what you do. Right. So I got a gardener and he was lovely and we had him for a few months. And then
how'd you find him?
I found him through a neighbor.
Okay.
So he's like, he like works the street and really pleasant guy, does a great job. Cool. I'd never had a lawn of my own before. So it was great. And, my kid was homesick and we heard the gardener doing his work outside and we were making rainbows. I was drawing them and he was coloring them in and we had probably 20 pages of rainbows by that point. And all of a sudden I hear some hollering out from the front yard. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know what that is, but I'm just going to go back to the rainbows. And it continued. And I didn't know what he was saying, because I'm a white woman. I'm just going to like make fun of myself. But I was like, okay, well, maybe I should go see what's going on out there because it sounded like it was directed towards my house. So I went out and there he was on the ground, bloody face, right next to his lawnmower that was still going, right next to the blades of the lawnmower. And there was a guy behind him holding him in a headlock. And they were both yelling, help.
Wait, they were on the ground.
They were on the ground in the grass. Bloody, my gardener, bloody face.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. And so I go out there and I tell the guy to let go of him, like, let him go. And he's crying out for help. And they're both of them are yelling to me to call the police. Call the police, call the police. They're both saying it. And I'm like, oh man, I don't do that, but they both want me to. So I was like, okay, I'm going to call the police.
Do you have your phone in your pocket?
No, I went back inside. The phone was inside. Meanwhile, rainbows are still being made. My little 3-year-old has no idea like what's going on. I go in, I get my phone, I call them. And by this point, they had split up and they were kind of both pacing and huffing and puffing. So the fight was over at this point. And now we wait for the cops. And
what do you say to the cops? What do you say? You go 911, then what?
Yeah, there's a fight going on in my front yard. It's my gardener. It's some random guy I've never seen before. I don't know what's happening. Okay, what's your address? That's my 911 call. And so the police arrive and there's 2 of them and they take each of them aside and they are asking them questions. And I'm just standing there and, rainbows and whatever. And I'm just standing there. And then the police come to me and they ask me what I saw. And they tell me that the guy who attacked my gardener said that he attacked him because my gardener looked at him and he licked his lips.
Oh, my God.
And he thought that was reason enough for cops to be like, oh, it's this, it's the gardener's fault because the gardener licked his lips at him. And I'm like, so here we are. We've got this closet case, who knows what's going on with this guy? I think he was a little out there.
Homophobic, you mean?
Homophobic. Yet, whenever I think of people who are homophobic, there might be something deep down that.
Yeah, a lot of testosterone misplaced or anger misplaced.
Yeah. And I felt and then my gardener was just this innocent, I don't know, he was probably, I don't know, he's probably 60 years old.
Right.
Knows what
turn the mower off?
I think by this point the mower was off. Yeah. At some point the mower turned off.
Okay. So then what happens?
So the cops, so they put the guy, the homophobic guy, in the cop car.
Yeah.
And then they ask my gardener if he wants to press charges.
Sure.
And he says no. And bless his heart, part of me is there's a good chance maybe he's illegal, and he just doesn't want to get involved with, who knows? Mm-hmm. Bless his heart. I felt so bad for him. And the cops were like, okay, we just want you to remember that if something like this ever happens again, don't go running outside trying to break it up. They're like, hide inside. It's
no, that's so interesting. Yeah.
It's my instinct to go in and dive in and help and stop it. Like, you know what I mean? Like that was
Yeah.
my instinct.
When you ran out of the house, you were like, get off of him. Stop, like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's
I mean,
instinctual. Yeah, they say that, the good Samaritans get involved in them. They're the ones that get, hurt. Yeah, that's sickening to think that you can't just help somebody. But I hear what the cop is saying. It's better to just keep safe and help from afar, as it were.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So did he finish your lawn that day or did he call it a day?
So, I mean, I told him he should call it a day.
Yeah.
This is, I guess, like he went into his car and he was in the driver's seat and he was getting ready to leave. And I was like, hang on. And I like ran inside and I made him a sandwich.
Oh.
And I gave him like some carrots. Like, I didn't know what to do. Like, I felt so bad because this happened like at my house. Like, he's new. Like, we're all new here, And so I gave him a bunch of food and I was like,
you're
here,
such a mom.
Like, so sorry, such a mom.
Baggie of carrots.
And it turns out
a Capri Sun.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Boxed juice. Like he had it all. Yeah. Like juice box. Exactly. Like he had it all. And like, he was just like, shaken up. I took pictures too. I took pictures.
Wow.
And I sent them to him just because I was like, if you ever decide, like, here's a picture.
Yeah.
Maybe I took a video. I don't know.
Did he get his face cleaned up? Did you give him cloth or something?
Like all the things. Like I got, yes. Like I just tried to do everything I could to like.
Well,
help
in this instance, I'm glad you were there because sounds like you really helped that man.
Yeah, I tried. I mean, and it turns out that the guy who went after him lives 2 doors down from me.
Wow.
And like, I saw him a few times after that, and I would just be like, that is so weird. Like,
wow.
he attacked my gardener and now he's just walking around like,
so he still lives there. You still have the same gardener. It's the same setup, but no more fights.
No more fights.
Boy, oh boy, that's a great story. I think you should have like a block party, invite everybody.
Yeah, just have like a peace party, like a block party. And one of the kickers is that isn't the weirdest thing that happened that week.
What else?
Because 2 days later, the world closed. It was COVID.
That was COVID. I see. Wow.
So it wasn't the weirdest thing that happened that week.
Yeah, that's incredible. Did your gardener keep coming during COVID? Were gardeners coming?
Yeah, gardeners were still coming. So that's good. Yeah. He actually sent somebody else. Yeah. And now he doesn't come around. It's actually somebody else.
Wouldn't it be funny if he hired like maybe a transgender woman or something to now cut the grass and see what your neighbor does if they lose it?
Exactly. I mean,
Well, it's just so funny because like you said, you left the apartment and I'm suspecting that was closer into the city or something. And then when you get the house, that's a little further out, but at least you have a house, you have a yard, you have a garage and a driveway. Right. Now you still have issues. In other words,
you still have issues.
It's just different safety issues.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's always some wild stuff going on in our neighborhood. There's like, what
did your son think when you brought him in the house?
Oh, he just had no idea.
Yeah. Because he's a baby.
Or he pretended. Who knows? He was 3. I mean, he could have run out there. Like, thank God. He was just really into the rainbows at that time.
Yeah, thank goodness he didn't chase after you or something, really.
Yeah, really. Really. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, Emily, you're so funny. That's a really great story. It's like a small story, but it's so like slice of life. Like, when does that happen? Why would, it's so random to see your gardener bloody on your ground. Like, did he get in a fight with the weed whacker or something, No, it was just this homophobic neighbor.
Yeah. Yeah. And I wonder, because I missed the beginning part of it. Like, and I wonder, like, did the neighbor like take him down and put his face like into the blades or something? Because he was bloody.
Yeah. Where did he get the cuts from? Yeah.
Bless his heart. Oh my
So
God.
much drama all the time, isn't there?
All the time. Yep, it continues. It's you. Yeah, you never know what you're going to get. We've got the neighbors with top of the line fireworks from Dodgers, like Dodger Stadium, and they just go off all summer long.
Isn't
And
that
then
funny how many fireworks there are in LA? Like
yeah,
all the time. It's not just for July 4th, it's for the entire summer.
yeah, all summer, and they're all over. They're just spread all around.
Yeah.
And
If you look at an aerial view of LA, it looks
Yeah.
like there's fireworks happening every block because there kind of are.
I did get a view one 4th of July of I was in at a party in the hills and I watched them all go on and I was like, wow.
It's unlike anything else. It really is.
Yeah.
Such a funny thing. It's such a it's a very LA thing. It's very specific to LA. Let me ask you one more question, then we're gonna get out of here. Okay, so you went to film school. Now my kid wants to go to film school. They're in a film school now, in art school. It's a cinematic art school. And they want to go on to film. What kind of career do they have to look forward to?
It's like as long, I mean, here's the thing. I've noticed, and this is something that like my parents and my relatives have said. It's like, it almost doesn't, to some careers, it doesn't matter what you major in.
Mm-hmm.
It really kind of doesn't. I mean, obviously, like doctors, like, yeah, you have to, follow a certain, but I mean, I think that there could be way more boring things to go to school for than film. I think film is really, it's great. It's a great way to, get some hands-on experience with making films and meeting people. The networking is good. Like if they want to be in the industry, then
that's where you're going to meet. Yeah. People for life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And I also agree that it's not so much about your major. It's about, did you show up? Did you do the things you're supposed to do and do it consistently for 4 years so much that you got the piece of paper? Did you do that?
Yeah.
If you did that, you've showed me you've jumped through a lot of hoops. And then I think maybe you'll do that for my company, as it were.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go. And, I mean, for kids that are going into college these days, it's like there's so many parents that are just like, just go have fun and be with other people and get off your phone. And, like
who wants to be 19 in a real job? I mean, that sounds like horrible.
No, when I was 19, I was like making sandwiches and serving beer and, like just.
You're in Boulder, man. You're hanging.
Yeah.
You're hanging out with backpackers, going to campfires. Nobody wears makeup. You got a long granny dress on. Freaking great. I did it. I lived in Colorado. I know the scene. I know how it goes. Good times.
Good times. Like
sometimes
chill.
if I go to Colorado now, okay, let's say I'm going to Colorado and I go into Boulder and I see like, a coffee shop or a restaurant, and then you see the kids working there and, you could just see how much fun they're having. And I sometimes want to think like, hey guys, can I come hang out with you? And they're like, no, grandma, you're 110. But I swear, like, I love those times when you're young, hanging out with people similar age in a similar circumstance from all over the world, because like I'm sure University of Colorado brings people from everywhere, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
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 So what a wonderful experience. I'm happy you got to go there.
I know. Me too. Where did you live in Colorado?
I lived in Grand Lake in the summertime. Yeah. I worked at the Grand Lake Lodge. Yeah. I worked there for 3 years.
Oh my God.
In the winter, I'd go to Winter Park.
Yeah.
And I would have my ski pass down at Winter Park and ski Winter Park Mary Jane as a waitress, and I taught skiing too, but mostly waitressing.
Yeah. Oh,
good times.
Woman, Grand Lake.
Well, I was always it's not Summit County, Grand County, of course, Grand County.
Right.
Yeah. And I love Vail. I know Vail is huge and a lot of people think it's, just the tourists and everything, but I don't care. I love Vail. I love Aspen. Yeah, I love all that stuff.
Oh, so good. Yeah, I'm going back this summer and we're going to Granby.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess there's like this whole like park with like Airstreams and like that you rent, and they're like different sizes and cool. And there's like
Granby, Colorado. Yep.
So cool.
You used to have to go down to Granby to get like pants and shirts because they didn't sell them in Grand Lake. If you needed underwear, you got to go to Granby. That's also where like the veterinarian was and stuff. And then the next town down is Fraser. I lived in Fraser. Anyway, beautiful area. Very, vast. Just a lot of space. Have your boys been to Colorado then? Yes.
Yeah, they have.
It's so nice for them to see that and to know that that's there. It's really wonderful. My kid hasn't been yet, so I look forward to taking them.
Yeah, we were taking them to Glenwood for a while. For a few summers, we were going to Glenwood Springs.
Springs, yeah. On the way to Aspen. That's fun.
Yeah, this year we're going to try something different, so it'll be good.
No, that's a great place to take kids. Good for you. Yeah. Well, thanks so much, Emily James, for coming on Storyworthy. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Funny story. What a silly, silly story about a fight in your yard. Please, like the cop said, don't go outside next time, okay? Don't go outside.
Just let
you guys. Don't forget, you can check out Emily over on Instagram at Created by Emily James, and find Storyworthy over there as well, of course, at Storyworthy. Actually, that's me, at Storyworthy. Yeah, that's right. And you can also find Story Smash over there at Story Smash and at My Life in 3 Songs. All right, you guys, thank you again so much for tuning in. Remember, if you guys weren't listening, I wouldn't be doing this show. So thank you so much for listening to Storyworthy and sharing it with your neighbors and your friends and your enemies. All right, you guys, one more time on behalf of the very talented Emily James, thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Christine Blackburn, saying, make it a Storyworthy. You can follow me.
Thanks for joining us on the Storyworthy podcast. We'll be back next week with all new stories. Subscribe to Storyworthy on iTunes and visit the Storyworthy website at storyworthypodcast.com.